Hello and welcome to the Inner Gamer On. My name is Braynoski.
Thomas Morales.
Are you?
I am.
That's cool.
Today I will be this guy I just said.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome to the show, Austin.
Thank you.
How you doing?
It's like first time being here or something.
You feeling good?
I feel great.
Are you? That's cool.
Well, after this conversation, it might not be too great.
Yeah, you might be feeling like a disaster. Get it?
Because
We're going to talk about today, is Battlefield 5 set up for disaster? The reason for this is that ever since the announcement trailer of Battlefield 5 earlier this year, there's been controversy surrounding the whole entire thing. There was controversy with the trailer about the historical accuracy of the game, in which they had female characters in the game. They had like weird like mechanics and things that were like, this was never in World War II. But all of that came out to find later is going to be like customization options that are going to be added into the game. And then there was updates and concerns and everything about how this game was not going to be different enough from the last one. And that's kind of the feeling that I got is when I first saw this trailer, I was like Battlefield 1 blew my mind graphically. The fact that it went so far back in time, it's a completely different experience from what we've been playing thus far. Right. This one feels like kind of an incremental upgrade, but with a lot of weird changes that I was surprised to see. And then just recently, EA delayed the game a month to work on some feedback they got from the community, as well as to enhance and improve their Tides of War live service, which what that's going to do is when the game comes out, you'll be playing a multiplayer certain types of levels and mission structures in Grand Operations and their other game mode called Combined Arms. And then as time goes on throughout the entire life of the game, they're going to be introducing new fronts and new missions and things like that to kind of tell the story, their multiplayer perspective of this game, right? So of World War II, and then so it's weird. Like the hype train, I feel like isn't as big as it was with Battlefield 1, and it's
that first press event where they streamed was a little lackluster. I was still excited about all the announcements, but I know there wasn't as big of a hype as I was expecting after that. Now I think it helped a little bit that you had a whole bunch of YouTube personalities go out there, play the game, make a lot of videos. Kind of got me a little pumped about what I was hearing. But now with everything that's come out and the controversies and the concerns, I think it's a storm that has led to this change of date. But I do think it was due to some of the community feedback, like people who played it and are like, hey, maybe you should change this or do this, you know. And, man, we're going to find out where we think Battlefield's going to sit at the end of this fall craziness.
Yeah. So let's jump back a little bit and talk more about the announcement of the game. So looking back to Battlefield 1, when they announced that, like, people were losing their mind. Like there was articles that came out about the differences between when Call of Duty announced their game. What was that game that got shit on?
Black Ops?
No, it wasn't Black Ops. Before World War II.
Infinite?
Advanced Warfare. Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare.
Yeah. Was that the one that had the Settlement Defense Front?
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah. So Infinite Warfare got shit on because of how lame and corny it was. So they knew they needed to change. And people got a lot, like that was the most disliked video, like I think ever, possibly.
And the Battlefield 1 had the most liked video.
Yeah. And they had the most liked video. And it was such a difference there that was really, really shocking and surprising. And I was like on board the hype train for Battlefield 1 from the get-go. It was amazing looking. They really captured like this sense of intensity in the warfare that like you don't see with Call of Duty. Like you don't see that with these things. Like there's moments in this game that are just, you can't find another game that presents moments like this.
Right.
And they're really, really good at accomplishing that.
And the key thing was that trailer captured it all. The story bits, the gameplay bits, all the new things we planned to see. Even they were just quick little teasers, you know, like quick shots and move on to the next thing. Like people digested that, like picked that trailer apart and was like, this is what's going to be in Battlefield in some shape or form.
Yeah.
And it got everyone super hyped.
Yeah. So then fast forward to the Battlefield 5 announcement trailer, and that was a lot different of a presentation. Rather than showing the epic, like opening up into these epic, huge battlefield scenes, they started very tight knit, and there was like people running through a house, fighting each other, very close quarters, and they jumped out the window, tanks rolling after them. They jump onto a Jeep, they start fighting each other through the grasslands, and then they start running out into this world, and you realize that they are in a massive battle scene, but it started very small and intimate,
Right.
and then open up in this larger space. So it was cool, but there was people that were concerned about the fact that there was women characters in there, which they say that there wasn't like women fighters out on the battlefield. And then there was also a lot of weird cosmetics to the player characters.
Someone was carrying a katana.
Yeah.
People had face paint on.
Yeah, and then you had the hook arm or whatever that somebody had.
Yeah.
Like a lot of different things that were just really off, and it was cool, but it didn't capture the epicness and the grandeur of Battlefield.
Right.
Like I feel like Battlefield is you play Battlefield because of the vast open world warfare that
They
you
ended with
experience.
that, like showing the battlefield and stuff like that, and like some of the crazy, planes coming overhead and explosions and things and broken, railways and stuff. But I think they started off bad.
Yeah.
It was, what was that movie where it had George Clooney and like they're World War II, and they went to go like get a bunch of treasure and stuff from the Nazis. It was all about like getting treasure from the
I have
Nazis.
no idea.
Okay, well, it's kind of like that. And you see all this stuff on this vehicle, and they pull in, at the beginning of the trailer. And the way they open up that whole trailer is just kind of, it throws you through a loophole if you're expecting, coming from Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 2, right? It's completely different.
Yeah. And the really complicated part about this is like this announcement trailer came off the coattails of their last game, which was Star Wars Battlefront 2, which got horribly shat on for their microtransaction system. And I know they learned the lesson from that, because there's definitely no microtransactions in this one that we know of so far. But
Huge win for gamers.
yeah, huge win for gamers. But that like just hurt them so bad in the public eye. And now this trailer comes out and it wasn't received as well. It wasn't a good starting point for Battlefield 5. So now let's fast forward to E3. So we're at E3 and they reveal some more details. They reveal some gameplay and stuff like that. More trailers. You got a clearer picture of what the game's about. You get more excited about it. Like you see all the different stuff that they're going to be doing to the to change the squad, like make squads more important. So that was really exciting. The fact that you rely on your teammates for health more than you used to.
Right.
It's not like you just pick up health anywhere and like do your thing, but it's like you have to go to your teammates to get health. Like you can only heal so much without going to other players or going to a medic. So those kinds of things were really cool additions. Excuse me. They have upgrade tiers for like weapons and stuff like that, which is cool. So seeing that additional set of detail in the game is really exciting. All the new game modes that they announced, like they have Grand Operations, which is their kind of enhancement from what they did in Battlefield 1, where it's like a multi-day hour-long gameplay experience, 64 players, where it's like just big, huge battlefield moments going back and forth. If you get to day 4, it becomes sudden death, where it's just like one player, like everybody's a one-hit kill.
Right,
and then somebody wins, and that's like the end of that. So that can get really intense. They also announced the Combined Arms, which is their co-op game, that is basically you enter Battlefield with you and like 3 other friends and play against AI, and there's like all kinds of scripted events that take place that are there's like a mission generator that will generate, I think it sounds like it's almost procedurally generated types of mission experiences that can change it with each experience you play.
Right.
And then Tides of War, which is their online service that is supposed to advance the story along as the game is living. So like through the lifespan, they're going to introduce more and more theaters of war and stuff to tell the story of World War II through a multiplayer experience. So there's a lot of stuff that they're really putting in this, but despite all of this, looking at Battlefield 5, it doesn't feel like a huge upgrade from the first, like Battlefield 1, which is weird.
So some of the gameplay seems about the same as Battlefield 1, just like different weapons. Obviously, the environment's going to be a little different, more destructible stuff, things like that, better tanks and, other air weapons and things. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the actual like difference is historically between the two wars. Obviously, there's like more advanced weaponry and things like that in Battlefield 2, but I don't know. There isn't that separation. I'm trying to think, like, other than gameplay wise, what is about the same to you? Like, what makes it feel the same?
The look.
Okay.
Even though World War II and World War I and World War II were far from each other, and the advancements that were made between the two,
right?
Were
talking about the look of like the levels or the look of like the color palette.
Yeah, all the above.
Okay,
color palette. Like this doesn't feel like a different theater of war.
Gotcha.
This feels like the same era. Like even though the
Battlefield 1 2.0,
the tanks are like updated and upgraded and everything, the weapons are more advanced and stuff like that. Like I feel like they did some things with Battlefield 1 that they took some liberties on because Battlefield like World War I stuff really wasn't that great,
right?
And they took some liberties to enhance that a little bit. The main thing that's different is the fact that there's no more horses,
right?
But like otherwise, it doesn't feel like a new theater of war. It feels like we're in the same kind of generation a little bit.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Hopefully that changes once we get our hands on it, but I see what you're saying. I mean, I do feel like it's Battlefield 1 2.0 in certain aspects, and they're just throwing a spin of like Bad Company-esque things on top of that to give it a little more fresh stuff, which I don't know if you want to get into like customization and all that, like loot things and how that's going to play in with like microtransactions, which I guess they haven't really said too much about that, but I feel like that's where it's going to be. Like that's where microtransactions would be.
Yeah. See, I don't even know. Like they haven't said anything about microtransactions that I'm aware of, and I don't think there's going to be.
Maybe I heard someone speculate on that, but it makes sense that would be where the microtransactions are.
Yeah. That would make sense. But
for multiplayer stuff,
I don't know. Hopefully they just don't do it because I feel like they're going to make a lot of money regardless if they just
I don't know, man.
But with the fact that they have cosmetic options, there's going to be some you're paying for.
Right.
So that's just a given.
Special skins, maybe
that sense. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of features in here that I really like. I like the fact also, like as an engineer, you capture a control point, you can set up fortifications and things like that. Like that's gonna be an interesting gameplay mechanic that'll change a lot of situations.
So for me, that gets me excited.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's a controversy and other people's concerns about the game. We even talk about how I think it was the guy who just left. I keep forgetting his name.
Patrick Sutherland.
Yeah, who was saying that if you don't like what we're doing, just don't buy the game. He tweeted that out, I believe. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And how that, like, he's basically telling people don't buy the game. And so I've heard a lot of people say they're just shitting on gamers because of that comment. And I don't know if you think that's okay or not. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about it. But I don't know. All this stuff, like, kind of just... It's funny how bad press just covers over some of the good aspects of a game. I mean, that's kind of the same thing with Battlefront 2. I mean, they went in, they fixed a lot of stuff, but it was so bad that they are not coming out of that. And I'm surprised they're still doing DLC for that. I jumped in the other day. They had that new DLC for Han Solo, the Han Solo movie. It was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But I don't know. I don't know where I think they stand in all of this towards the end of the fall. I'm going to buy it. I don't know about everybody else. I know a lot of people who are like taking a stand against this, and it's funny to see like everyone's finally taking a stand against EA or like these big companies that all they care about is money, even though they are fixing some of the issues that they had in the past. But I think with the controversy, I don't think this is going to sell good. I think it's going to take a whole year for them to come back.
I don't know if it'll take that long. I think it's got. I mean, it's not near as bad as Battlefront 2. Like,
Right.
we haven't.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even reached the scale of that, and that still sold really, really well.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Sales wise,
Yeah.
it sold well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Press wise,
So-
it did bad.
Well, yeah, press wise it did bad, but it still sold really well, and people
Okay.
played it, and they made. I mean, they didn't reach the numbers that they speculated, but their speculation numbers were very high.
Gotcha.
So they didn't reach their marks, but it still sold well.
Gotcha.
It wasn't a bad game at all, and so I don't think it's going to hurt them. Like, I think this game's going to do well, but I think what is going to hurt them is this delay. And that's what I want to really kind of hone in on. And also to talk about what you said. Yeah, he did actually say the reason why he said play it or don't buy it
Right.
was because of the controversy about the women.
Right.
So he was saying that because people were complaining about the women, he's like, well, we feel like, what did he say exactly? We stand up for the cause because I think those people who don't understand it, well, you have two choices, either accept it or don't buy the game. I'm fine with either or. So he was basically just defending the reason why they put women in the game.
Right.
Which I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it either.
So it's good that they, I mean, people are complaining about that. I don't really care. I think it's good that they're in the game. Since there's customization available,
Right.
why shouldn't you be able to pick between male and female?
Right.
Whether it's historically accurate or not, like it's not a big deal. But I do want to talk about the delay because this just happened last week, and they've delayed the game from. They pushed it back basically a month. So it was going to come out October 19th. Now it's going to come out November 20th. So if it came out October 19th, it was going to come out right after Black Ops, but it was going to come out before Red Dead Redemption 2. It was going to come out before Fallout 76. It was going to come out before Hitman 2, before all these other games that were pretty big games. And now it's November 20th, which means it's going to come out after Red Dead Redemption 2, after Fallout 76, and after obviously Call of Duty Black Ops. So people are going to have a month of time to buy Black Ops.
What'd you say the
versus
release date
Battlefield
was?
5, November 20th.
Oh, okay. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
And Assassin's Creed
And
Odyssey.
Super Mario Party.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about games that are in the same vein of
Super
multiplayer.
Mario Party, Brett.
Oh, I know. Super Mario Party is going to be awesome.
Yeah, just all these different plethora of games
When
that
does Super
people.
Mario Party come out?
That is coming out October 5th. After Fallout 76, which you just said.
Holy shit.
Yep.
We have an event on October 5th. Perfect.
Side note, guys.
Yeah. So they say that they delayed this because of the fact they got a lot of feedback from the closed beta. And I follow Jack Frax pretty frequently, and he talks a lot about this stuff. And he was talking about how he likes the game. He said it plays really well. He found a lot of bugs in the game. So there was parts where you kill a guy, and then the guy that you kill would just freeze in place, static, like a ragdoll, straight up and down. And there's weird glitches like that. They're all over the place. And there was people saying that there was some balance issues with the game, and then there was some issues with the just a lot of little mechanics that they've put in here that it felt like it was not quite ready for release or whatever.
Right.
So they took a lot of that feedback and are going back to tweak those things, as well as
That's good.
enhance and improve their Tides of War service to make sure it's ready to go at launch and make it as good as it can be.
Right. That's good.
So that's what they said. But I'm concerned with the fact that I feel like they should have had it. They should have done this sooner because
Right.
of the fact
Right.
that the timing just sucks now.
It really does.
At this point, you might as well, like you said earlier, might as well push this back to January or February.
But again, Battlefield's not a beginning of the year game. It is an end of year game. It's always been like that, at least to my knowledge.
Oh, it always has.
A fall game, fall release. But the closer you get to December, the less likely it is your game's going to sell unless you're Nintendo and releasing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I mean, what if they open up the year with January, end of January, bam, Battlefield 5's here. That would be great because they're not competing against any other multiplayer games.
There are a lot of good games who come out in January and February recently. They're just it doesn't hurt them.
Yeah.
Now, if they're looking for a game of the year contender spot, I don't know, multiplayer wise, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat Fortnite at this point. I feel like they're just going to get it the next 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
But
Wait, is Fortnite on your game of the year this year?
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about general.
Oh, okay.
Like it'd probably be in some DLC or whatever. But
Right.
I was trying to think like why they would want to keep it in the fall time period. Because what else do they have coming out? Don't they have one more game coming out? What am I missing here?
Who?
EA.
Madden, FIFA.
Oh, minus those.
That's it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, and
I thought they had one more coming out. I could be wrong.
Yarny. That one.
That's not what I'm thinking of.
Oh, there's that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, they're not shooting themselves in the foot like they did with Titanfall, so that's good.
That's true.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I do think that's one of their biggest downfalls right now. But if it plays well and it's received very well, regardless of the controversy, there could be a turning point at that point. So hopefully the tides kind of shift if it is received pretty well. But at that time, like we said, like a lot of people are going to be playing other games at that point, unless there's some really awesome no, you can't even. Yeah, Black Friday. Oh, wait, no, Black Friday is the 19th, isn't it?
No.
Isn't it on a well, it's a Friday, obviously. Let us look up this Black Friday deal here. Because they could do some cool like Black Friday
is the 23rd.
23rd, yeah.
So it'll be 3 days. That's actually not bad.
I mean, they could do some cool special
That's right before everybody's off for vacation.
It could be really cool to do something that day for them.
November is a bad time for it, but the fact that they're putting it literally 2 days before Thanksgiving, people are going to like probably go out and buy this so they're not having to spend time with their family during Thanksgiving.
I'm telling you.
So
I'm telling
that's
you.
not a bad idea. And then like
that
you
could
said,
help.
they could do but do you think that the question is, will they discount it 3 days after it releases? I mean, that would be a huge
I could see an online
risk for
special.
them,
Like,
but
hey,
I feel like they should.
I mean, they need to, I think.
Yeah.
But I just don't see someone like EA discounting it at that point. I can see something online like, hey, join up for the EA subscription thing and get it for like half off or get it for like $25 off.
You know what I bet they could do? This would be a good move on their part. Black Friday through the weekend, Battlefield 5, free to play, 3 days.
3 days. That would be fucking genius.
That's the whole entire time they're off. They can play through whatever they want, 3 days for free. I bet you they get a lot of conversions through that. You're welcome, EA.
That would be
You can send my check to
$20,000. I'm just kidding.
No,
I mean, that's the only way I could see them for like
$150,000 minimum.
Dang.
Anyway,
because they have a lot of good things going for them here.
Right.
Like coming off of Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 fell kind of flat in like the things that you're able to do as a player and in the game modes. Like a lot of the tank play and like vehicle play were actually pretty cool. And the horse play was awesome.
It felt unbalanced though. Like did you feel like Battlefield 1 in a weird way was a little like unbalanced with like the tanks being way too overpowered? Even till now.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Like I feel I never used to have that problem, but I think that's one thing that World War II will fix is that you have more stuff.
You can combat the tank a little better than you could in that. But I think that was the whole point. Like the tanks were like changed the battlefield,
But that's not fun though.
I know. I get it. It was just fun to be in the tanks. But yeah, it was very gamey at the same time, And I know it's supposed to be historical and stuff, but I think that's where they kind of leaned away. But I remember them saying in a video that they wanted the tanks to be like the powerhouse. Like you get the tank, and it's going to change the tide of war if you're losing to winning, stuff like that. Obviously, yeah, I think it's going to be more balanced in Battlefield 5. And yeah, that's it, man. They need to do that for Black Friday.
Yeah. So I think here's my kind of verdict on whether or not Battlefield 5 can succeed at this point in time. There's no doubt it's not going to succeed. Like it's going to do well, but I think we might see an issue in which it won't meet the expectations that they have. Cause like this year they're banking on Battlefield 5 to finish out their year.
Right.
Like, I mean, obviously Madden and all that stuff's going to do really well because everybody just buys that stuff. But like Battlefield 5 is their only non-sports title that's coming out between now and the end of the year. So it has to do well. So I think what's going to be riding on that is because we already know what's coming with the rest of the game, but like we know nothing about Battle Royale. And if that comes out and we're like, shit, that feature fundamentally changes Battle Royale, then this game's going to sell like hotcakes, and everything else we've been talking about won't even matter.
This is it. I know what they can do.
What?
Free to play Battle Royale standalone. We can, if it's good enough and it holds its own.
The whole game is free to play.
Well, I know, but I mean, if that is good enough and it holds its own, that might be enough for people to be like, "Fuck, I really want to play that now," and it's only available if I buy the full game. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's another option. Just throwing out options for EA over here.
But that's just a lesser version of my option that I suggested.
But I could see them not wanting you to be able to play the full game.
I would think they would. Just on multiplayer.
Right.
Not like single player, but the whole game is multiplayer.
Multiplayer, yeah, for sure.
So like all the modes and stuff like that. Yeah. Some capacity of free play during the weekend that everybody's off. That would be good.
Right.
I could see them doing that for sure.
Right.
But yeah, Battle Royale definitely needs to have some kind of feature set that will stand out. And I mean, I've said it before, like I think Battlefield is the best game fit for a Battle Royale genre. Like it fits that so well. And
I take it back. You're right. It should be full play online, because now it's going to be competing against Black Ops.
Exactly.
Like you're already
like
slow out of the
let
gate.
them experience all the new shit. Like let them experience Black Ops or Battle Royale.
Black Ops.
let them experience the Tides of War experience. Let them experience Grand Operations.
Right.
Let them experience like Combined Arms. All that stuff's new that nobody's seen before. Thanksgiving's right here, free to play. Try that out on Monday, Cyber Monday. Bam, drop a sale. Everybody buys that shit, and then all of a sudden you got everybody playing your game. And then like put in those microtransactions and make your money off of the cosmetics and stuff. Like, hey, you want to have a peg leg? Go right ahead. It's $4.99.
All yours.
All yours.
For a nominal price of $60 plus $5.99.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts you want to add to this before we wrap up?
They do have a nice lineup of new things to try out. And it just sucks at the controversy and all this stuff. And again, like I said it before the podcast, like this was all marketing. But the voice of like what's going to be in the game, what the game's about, was different from what they marketed. Not as bad as Halo 5, but like there wasn't that connection. I think we see that quite often actually with some of these bigger developers. Like there's something lost between the lines when they're trying to communicate things. Yeah. And
So to add, like you just made a statement that made me realize something. So I've been trying to like articulate in words why this doesn't feel much different from the last game, and you kind of just said it in that there's all these new things that are coming out in it, but I don't know what any of that looks like because they've shown it. I think like maybe that first trailer was like Combined Arms. Right. And that's what that was. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, it's not clear like what these experiences look and feel like. Right.
We only have a few clips and stuff and, gameplay from E3.
Yeah. And the gameplay from E3 or the gameplay that's been coming out lately, like of Rotterdam and stuff like that, that's all been like conquest based stuff.
Right.
So like even that doesn't really show anything. It's just the same kind of stuff. So like, I don't know what these new experience, like I don't know what Grand Operations will look and feel like.
Their marketing this time around has not been good.
Yeah.
Like the weapon customization stuff and like customizing your group or your character was really cool. But everything else is just kind of lackluster. It's just like, okay, cool. Like I know what to expect, but I don't know what to expect from the new stuff. So
if you know what that means.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, I've always said it in the past. I'm a huge Battlefield fan, so I'm going to buy this game regardless.
I will
definitely play it. The last one was huge, but this one doesn't change as much as I'd like it to. But I'm hoping that feeling goes away when the open beta comes out. I can actually jump in and play it and feel it myself. Maybe it'll feel different. Like that would be nice, and maybe it'll we can experience some of those new modes that we haven't played yet, and they might surprise us. So I'm optimistic about it, but cautiously optimistic because I just don't know where things are going right now. So
If you want our opinion about this later after release, you can come back to thengamer.net and wait and look for our Battlefield 5 review impressions. Thank you.
exactly that thing.
We're going to be real about this. We'll let you know if it sucks.
So let us know in the comments what you think about Battlefield 5. Do you think it's going to do really well? Are you excited about this game? If so, why? Are you not excited? And if so, why? And that's going to conclude our discussion topic this week. So if you want to hear us talk about something else, you can send it to us at hello@thengamer.net.
Please.
In addition, we have video clips of not necessarily this segment, but all of our segments that we do from the news or this segment, whatever, at youtube.com/gamer. Make sure to check those out. And if you want to watch the full discussion topic of this with our faces in it, you can't see my hand gestures right now, but if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can see all my hand gestures. You can see me flipping Austin off. But
I wish I could say
if
it's
you're not
worth
paying
it.
for it, then you can't see it. So $3 or more a month, you can see the video of this every Thursday as well. And
It's just hand gestures,
it.
the whole video, if you're just listening.
yeah,
All the time in my face.
Like I've been walking around all over the place doing like flips and jumps and jumping jacks and things. You wouldn't even know
Wouldn't even know.
unless you subscribe. So with that, thank you all for listening, and we will catch you next time. Head on over to thengamer.net for our full podcast episode for our weekly game impressions and top headlines of the week.
That's one of
Side
me
my
doing an
face.
interview. Here's one of all of us. We'll mix some cool stuff in there.
Things.
Brett's also right here.
Like this video, subscribe, keep up with all the latest video game news and opinions that you care about right here on The Inner Gamer.